Under the silent sky of ancient Egypt, where the desert whispered to the stars, and time itself seemed carved in stone, a god was born, not of flesh, but of thought. His name was Thoth, the keeper of wisdom, the scribe of the divine, the bridge between heaven and earth. They said he was born from Ra, the blazing sun, yet had no mother, no mortal origin. He emerged from pure light, the kind of light that does not burn, but reveals. When the gods first looked upon him, they saw an ibis, a bird of grace and precision, its long beak tracing lines through the Nile's reflection, like a pen writing upon the waters of creation. The Egyptians called him Jehuti, he who is like the ibis. To them, the bird and the god were one, both seekers of truth, both guardians of the unseen. Thoth did not command armies. He did not rule kingdoms. He ruled the mind, and through the mind, he ruled everything else. He brought structure to chaos. He measured the heavens. He gave names to the stars, so that even eternity could be read and remembered. Beside him stood Ma'at, goddess of truth, balance, and order. She was not just his companion, she was his mirror. Together they became the pulse of the cosmos. For wisdom without truth is blind, and truth without wisdom is lost. Their union gave birth to Sekhmet, the goddess of writing and measurement, a daughter born from thought itself. From that moment, words became sacred, and knowledge found a home among the living. They said Thoth was the scribe of the gods, the one who wrote down every deed, both divine and mortal. On his scrolls were the laws that held the stars in orbit, and the words that bound life and death in eternal rhythm. Every hieroglyph carved into temple walls, every story whispered in the dark halls of the pharaohs, began first in the mind of Thoth. It was he who taught humankind how to write, how to speak, how to remember. Through him, memory became immortality. But even the god of wisdom faced moments when intellect had to stand against fury. There came a time when the people of Egypt turned their backs on Ra, the sun. In anger, the great god unleashed Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess of war and destruction. Her rage burned across the desert, turning rivers red with blood. Humanity trembled before her roar. And then came Thoth. No sword, no fire, only an idea. He mixed beer with pomegranate juice, the color of blood. He poured it across the sands until the earth itself seemed drenched in death. When Sekhmet arrived, she drank deeply, believing it to be the blood of her enemies. But it was only sweetness and silence. She grew calm, she grew still, and the war goddess slept. The world was saved, not by might, but by wisdom. Every year, the Egyptians celebrated that night with music and laughter beside the Nile. They called it the Festival of Thoth, a reminder that true power lies not in force, but in understanding. Yet wisdom also governs time itself. Once the sky goddess Nut was cursed, forbidden to bear children in any month of the year. Ra's decree sealed the heavens shut, but Thoth, clever and quiet, challenged the moon goddess Khonsu to a game of Senet, an ancient board of fate. He played with patience and precision, and each victory earned him a fragment of moonlight. When the game was done, he held in his hand 5 extra days, days that did not belong to any month, days that existed outside of time. With them, Nut gave birth to her divine children, Osiris, Isis, Set, Nephthys, and Horus the Elder. The curse was broken, and from that cleverness came the 365-day calendar, a pattern still followed by the world today. Even time, it seemed, could be rewritten by wisdom. But the greatest tale of Thoth was written in the shadows of the underworld. When Osiris, the just ruler, was betrayed and slain by his brother Set, chaos swept across creation. The balance of Ma'at trembled. Isis wept. The gods mourned. And Thoth began to work. With words as his tools and spells as his hands, he helped Isis and Anubis reassemble the broken body of Osiris. By his incantations, life returned, a single breath, soft as the wind through papyrus reeds. Osiris rose again, and in that sacred moment fathered Horus, the falcon god of justice and kingship. From death came rebirth, from sorrow, meaning, and from the hand of Thoth, the first resurrection. When Horus grew to challenge Set, the gods themselves gathered to judge. In the hall of divine law, Thoth presided as the impartial scribe. He did not take sides. He did not shout or strike. He listened. Every word weighed, every truth measured. It was Thoth who ensured that justice would prevail, that the rightful heir, Horus, would restore order to the throne of Egypt. And when the verdict was spoken, light returned to the kingdom. In the silence that followed, Ma'at's feather drifted through the air, and Thoth recorded its fall. Beyond the world of the living, Thoth guided the souls of the dead through the perilous halls of judgment. In the hall of truth, each heart was placed upon a golden scale, balanced against the feather of Ma'at. Too heavy with sin, and the soul would be devoured by Ammit, the eater of hearts. But if light, if pure, it would rise into eternity. Thoth stood beside the scales, his quill poised, his eyes calm. He did not decide. He only recorded. For even the gods must answer to truth. And the souls, trembling before him, took comfort. For in Thoth's hand, justice had no bias. They said Thoth's wisdom was endless. He wrote countless books of knowledge, texts that mapped the secrets of the universe itself. The Book of the Dead, a guide for souls to cross the afterlife. The Book of Ma'at, laws of virtue and balance. The Emerald Tablets, whispers of alchemy and the soul's transmutation. The Book of Healing, herbs and remedies for the body and spirit. The Book of Rituals, the sacred language of worship. Each word, each symbol, a key to the eternal order of all things. And yet they say one book remains lost, the Book of Thoth itself, said to hold the knowledge of creation, the name of every god, and the formula that could awaken the dead. Many sought it. None returned unchanged. For wisdom, once gained, cannot be unseen. As centuries passed, temples turned to sand, and statues crumbled beneath the sun. But the name of Thoth endured, in every scroll, every language, every thought that seeks truth. He was not a god of thunder or flame. He was the quiet voice that said, "Think, learn, remember." When the moon rises over the Nile, and its reflection trembles on the water, it is said that Thoth still walks there, his ibis shadow moving softly among the reeds, recording the stories of those who look for light, because wisdom is not a relic. It is a path, and Thoth, the god of intellect and balance, remains the eternal scribe of that path, guiding mortals and gods alike toward a single truth. That power fades, kingdoms fall, but knowledge endures. In the heart of ancient Egypt, the voice returns. Wisdom was not something learned, it was something lived. And in the quiet between heaven and earth, Thoth still writes,